Yes, sir.
I wanted to do you a favor this morning and give you an opportunity to talk about yourself just a little bit.
Thank you, sir.
I've been watching the presidential debates that have occurred, and I have found that there are many good candidates who are running for office, and they have different strengths, which I appreciate, including you. I particularly appreciate your positive message and your experience as a senator in the United States Congress. However, as someone who is observing the debates and observing the candidates as they come along, I'm wondering what makes Tim Scott different? What differentiates you from the other candidates? The messages are often similar. What makes you, and why should I vote for you?
Thank you, sir. Great question. To put it bluntly, the truth of my life disproves the lies of the radical left in a way that nobody else's does. Let me give you a couple of examples. In America today, we live in a place where there are radical forces on the left that believe that we are a culture of grievance and that we live in a place of oppression. I believe that we are the land of greatness, and we are still the greatest land of opportunity in the world. When they sell, so this is what happens on the left all the time. They will use race and class for one purpose: to maintain their political power. They will use any single person, any group, any issue, not for progress, but for control. Not for motivating people, but for manipulating people. And I will say, I think God wastes not a single characteristic he gave you. Like you, he gave you good hair. He gave me a beautiful bald head. He wastes nothing. And we should use every single thing that we have to tell the truth of America. And my life story, not just because I happen to be a black dude, but the fact that a poor kid, whether you're a poor kid in rural Iowa or inner city Chicago, the fact of the matter is that your future will be determined by the quality of your education, not the color of your skin, and not from where you come. If we can do that, we have a chance to change the trajectory of our poorest areas that have stubborn intergenerational poverty. Having come out of one of those areas, I know that free markets and capitalism is the system that brings wealth and opportunity into the poorest areas. Third thing I'd say is a lot of people talk about what they're going to do. I can talk about what I've already done. You think about the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, the largest tax cut in American history, more than $2.4 trillion to the American people. All we did was let you keep your own money. That ain't a miracle, but it is in modern America. Well, I was one of the 3 authors of that bill. Myself, Pat Toomey, and Rob Portman, and then John Thune started 6 months later, wrote that bill. The president signed it. I actually wrote the bill. I wrote that bill with 2 things in mind. Number one, the 7-year-old kid that I used to be, who grew up in poverty with lots of friends who had lots of potential. And I wanted to make sure that we brought opportunity back to single mothers like the one that raised me. That opportunity isn't the government coming in. What I can tell you is that the more the government did, the less I received. Therefore, understanding the modern version of socialism versus the free markets and capitalism, I've lived the difference between the two. And I thank God Almighty that I've had a chance to take the mess of my beginning, make it into a message so that I can be a messenger of hope and opportunity for this country. The final thing I'd tell you is whether it was taking the corporate tax from 35 to 21 or breaking down and reducing taxes in every single tax bracket in our nation, whether it was giving a 20% haircut to small businesses, past their businesses, so that they can succeed and hire more people. We created an economy that hires 7 million people. We brought the unemployment rates to the lowest level for African Americans, for Hispanics, for Asians, a 50-year low for the majority population, a 70-year low for women. We did all that while keeping inflation at 2%. Because when you believe in the actual American people and not in the government, you get remarkable results that can be measured in lives improved and saved. And I finally say this as well. I started off as the candidate with 100% pro-life voting record, 100% pro-life conservative. I've said, and now other candidates have joined me, and you can just go and Google it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Take a look at it. Join me in saying that as a United States Senator, I watched every Senate Democrat this year vote for late-term abortions in the Senate. I said states have the right to be as conservative as they can be, but we have to have a national limit of 15 weeks because we do not need to be in the category of China and North Korea. 47 out of 50 European countries have a limit around 14 weeks. Why would we allow for late-term abortions? I've been the leader on that issue, and you can go to Susan B. Anthony, SBA, the leading voices on pro-life, and they have sent letters and texts that thank me for leading on the issues. The one thing I can tell you, and I know he wants me to sit down and shut up. I got to go. I know. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. One thing I can tell you, sir, is that I often wonder, and obviously I've been in the two debates, and to me they were almost ridiculous. People shouting and having a food fight only helps the media produce really good content for their stations and helps Joe Biden. The definition of toughness and leadership is what happens on the inside out. Being a good leader isn't shouting and screaming on a debate stage. It's having calm and resolve in the midst of chaos. I am blessed to have lived in a place where, unfortunately, the misery of my beginning, of having my friends shot and buried and incarcerated, making good decisions in that environment, that's metal. Having a chance to start and run businesses, you want to understand a chief executive? Use your own cash. Work for $1,200 a month for 95 hours a week for years so that you understand what it means to be free and to experience liberty as a business owner and to create jobs in your own community. People can talk about that kind of leadership. Only a few of us on that stage have ever done it. And then finally, my service in the Senate, whether it was the Armed Services Committee, whether it's the Foreign Relations Committee, all the sanctions that we have worldwide flow through the Banking Committee, where I'm the lead Republican on that committee. Understanding the complexity and the difficulty of the challenges that we face as a nation is incredibly important. I'm going to finish with this. I believe that the foundation of your life says more about you than everything I've said so far. I believe understanding that this nation is a nation founded upon a Judeo-Christian rock is absolutely essential to understand the miracle of America. Not as a political tool should be our faith. People believe differently than I do. Even Christians do. I'm okay. Everybody's got to figure out John 3:16, Romans 10:9, 10 for themselves. They got to figure out how to do the Galatians 6:7, 6:9, whatever you sow, you reap. Whatever you wait long enough, you get it back. Here's the fact, though. Do you model the behavior you want others to follow? Not when you're on the stage, but just do a Google search and see what we've all said along the way. And I think you'll find the differentiator between me and the other candidates. Thank you for such an important question.